Well, you asked for it. You got it. The man himself is back. Bonsai Shongwe, South Africa's best podcaster, is back in the seat. Hello, Bonsai.
Oh, man. How are you doing, Mike?
Well, people have asked for us to do a regular catch-up, so, let's do some catching up.
Yeah. Well, before we start catching up, I come bearing gifts. Presented to State of the Nation for passing 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah, thank you.
Congrats. What a day for me to arrive.
Yeah, it arrived in the post. Some guy, I didn't even know UPS delivered, but UPS delivered this. So it's half an achievement and half a monkey off my back. But anyway,
Yeah.
We're there now.
Yeah.
And it won't be too long before we reciprocate and the Bonsai Shongwe show gets past 100.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
please subscribe, get him to 500,000 because I'm about to get to 100,000 in about 3 months, I think.
Test. Yeah. And no less than what Bonsai deserves. Now, Bonsai, let's start off here. You have really milked, like in a good way, the commissions.
Yeah.
You have covered it closely.
Yeah.
And I like your analysis more than anybody else's on the issue because you really do get to the, because at the end of the day, when you're covering those kind of things, and I'm interested to hear how you do it, is that there is so much that gets thrown at it, and it's a question of what you don't talk about rather than what you do talk about.
Yeah.
But what has been your ideas or your thoughts on the Madlanga Commission and the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee?
Well, first of all, having both of them really is important. Okay, so you got to remember South Africa is 30 years old as a democracy, but South Africa is now literally about 8 months old as a democracy. Okay, so first of all, Parliament is 8 months old. We have never had a parliament since 1994 because we had the great ANC, running a one-party state where Parliament, I don't know what they used to do all along, but they got to shout and at least we got to see them and they got votes from that.
Yeah.
But besides the DA just going, this, and EFF saying, pay back the money, they had no authority to get anything done.
Yeah.
So now, come 29th of May, ANC goes to 40%. Parliament kicks in for the first time. So now all commissions were used to undercut the work of Parliament. So ANC presidents knew this is what happens. Scandal comes up, get a big commission because you borrow the profile of the big judge, you borrow the media and getting to do a big announcement, and immediately what happens is Parliament sort of quietens down because they can't, overstep their president. So now what has been awesome with this is that you have Parliament that actually took their place and went on with an ad hoc committee as if no commission existed. This is wonderful. So perfect example. Today we're listening to Masemola. Okay, because this is what happened. You have Mkhwanazi who talks and acts and thinks like a cop. You have Masemola who talks and acts and thinks like a politician. Problem, right? I would gladly leave my 5-year-old with Mkhwanazi to look after. I'd feel safe. Okay, I would not leave my 5-year-old with Masemola. I would not leave my 5-year-old with Mkhwanazi, right? Because I'm going to come back and find the 5-year-old doing salutes or crying because he's just going to stick to the rules. And so here's what happened. You had Madlanga say to Mkhwanazi, would you disobey an instruction from Mkhunu? And Masemola says, yeah, it depends. And he kind of says, yeah, but what do you mean it depends? You either say yes or no, right? That's as far as the Madlanga Commission could go. Right now, as we are here, you have guys going, "What's your problem? Why are you spineless?" And he was listen, right? In fact, the first question was, did you put our children at risk? Right? And so you have these different types of ways of holding people to account. And the awesome thing is Parliament was able to do this. So this is wonderful because there's a certain type of accountability that comes from Parliament, including just shout at the guy in public so that the whole public now gets involved. And that adds to it. So I think this has been really, really awesome.
Yeah, the other big difference, of course, is that when the president calls for a commission, it's a presidential commission.
Yeah.
They sit and they do whatever they like. They eventually present a whole document, in the case of Zondo, 5 volumes.
Yeah.
Which they give to the president, and then the president gets to decide what to do with it.
Yeah.
Now, in this case, this is a parliamentary thing. This goes back to Parliament, which the ANC doesn't have a majority in, so they could decide whatever they want to decide. But we then also, if, let's say, some of the other people, nudge, nudge, wink, wink to Mr. Malema, who tried desperately to shut this thing down, if they do try and do that, at least we'll know who's shutting down the information.
Yeah, and they then get to vote on the report at the end. So unlike with Ngobo's report, where he said, "Yeah, no, there's something to be answered here," and they just voted and said, "Doesn't matter," and we had to just watch and move on. It's not as easy now, but so it is wonderful that whatever comes out of it can be implemented by Parliament immediately. So.
Yeah, but we've got to understand that whatever comes out, there is still the question of this going the next step, which is to the legal eagles, where a legal process must take place.
Yeah.
Neither of these can result in a policeman putting somebody in shackles yet.
Yeah. And people can still, take it up for review and all of that and delay it a bit. But the awesome thing is it's happening in public.
Yeah. And we've seen the advantage of this very public situation by the fact that suddenly, after 4 years, the SIU did something, the police did something, all enough time for people. Do you know how long it takes to write a book? If you look at the book that Jeff Wicks wrote, he had to research that. He had to write that. He had to go speak to people. Eventually, you've got to get it printed, and then it comes out. In all that time, the police did nothing about Babita Deokaran and the people that made that happen.
Yeah, no, it's really a shame when you watch. You kind of wonder if we shouldn't put investigative journalists on a taxpayer's pay because. Of course, you need them independent, but I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy how you watch a story blow up and we're still talking about it a year later.
Yeah.
And listening to people saying, "Oh, we are investigating." Well, we pay you to investigate. We pay for investigators and everything. So, I guess, and I don't think people understand how much success with rule of law links directly to why your cousin doesn't have a job or why and we like to say economic growth and it's up in the air, but it's literally why your cousin doesn't have a job, why the police don't have budget, why and on and on and on, why your cousins die in hospitals, why your grandmother gets buried 20 years early. This is all linked to rule of law. And when we talk about the economy struggling, in fact, anytime you push the rule of law index up by 1 point, you actually grow the economy by 2 points. So it really matters.
Yeah.
So the fact that we talk about these things much later, well, it's literally linked to why you have less money in your pocket than you could have.
Yeah. And I mean, just to dead easy way to look at that was in the beginning of the year, we saw a whole lot of young doctors that couldn't get positions because the hospitals couldn't afford to pay them salaries, but yet we see 2 billion rand being stolen from one hospital.
Can you believe it?
And that's many doctors' salaries. And if you don't think doctors save lives, then we don't know. But, the other part to it is that what will emerge in the fullness of time is that we've got a lot of information about Tembisa Hospital. But like I've said before, it's a bit like McDonald's. They've got the franchise model, and now they just roll it out wherever you need a McDonald's. So therefore, if you are Masemola, you've got this whole crime syndicate sorted out. You just roll it out to the next hospital and the next hospital, and then you go find the schools.
I had a bicycle accident when I was about 7 years old, and I had to go to Mkhwanazi Hospital for a procedure. And I still remember it. It was awesome, right? I even got a suite on the way in and all of that. I wouldn't want to go to Mkhwanazi Hospital for flu right now, because you literally have to go to a private hospital. Otherwise, you are in mega trouble. So absolutely, you can guess if it's 2 billion in Tembisa, such a small township, it's probably 10 billion at Mkhwanazi, because Soweto is that much bigger. And the hospitals is that size. And it's really, really, I wish there was a quick way to open up people's heads and help people realize the connection between this rhetoric of revolution and all of that, and how it connects directly to the levels of corruption and the type of corruption. Because unfortunately, this is not corruption as a result of just bad management or someone was not keeping up and all of that. It's corruption that comes from a corrupt mindset that runs through our country because of how the ANC scripted everybody, right? So for instance, a black person doesn't steal because I'm already a victim, right? I'm just doing something wrong because of what happened many years ago. And it's this rhetoric from the EFF and the ANC and all their factions that leads to this nonsense. So we actually hear where ANC is 40%, but I think there's a big job that needs to be done that I'm still thinking about on how we detoxify the whole system of 30 years worth of brainwashing.
Yeah, it has been a very, very successful project. Like you eventually have, and there's been books written about it. George Orwell made a tidy living out of writing about how you can brainwash people and get them to start thinking that good is bad and bad is good.
Yeah.
Right, that somebody who wants to apply the rule of law is actually being mean to the person breaking the law.
Yeah,
right?
They're vengeful and angry.
Yeah.
In fact, it was funny when you remember when the minister Nkabane, when Nkabane lied about Terry Mutau, SC, being on some board, and then they found out no, not on any board and whatever. And it was pretty clear. She lied to Parliament. She's helped to steal money and all of that. And I remember listening to a parliamentarian saying, oh, no, she's fired already. We don't need to have personal vendettas against her and put her in jail or anything. And I thought, what is this? Somehow, and it's twisting words like justice, right? Because if you use justice 50 times, in a false sense, when time for real justice comes up, people are so scripted that justice means a whole bunch of stuff that have nothing to do with justice, right? So that when there is time for actual justice, people are numb to it, and they're happy to see. I mean, perfect example. Zondo Commission closes. I don't know how many years ago. Is it 2 years now?
Yeah.
2 years later, not a single person handcuffed. Okay. I mean, I could just have this much whiskey and drive, and I'll be in handcuffs. Okay, but now people can steal up to trillions of rands, not a single one handcuffed, and they come after 2 years and they say, well, we've got some of the money back. It's like, I don't want money. I need handcuffs.
Yeah.
Because that's what justice demands, right? Even yesterday, we saw the SIU take some Lamborghinis back, and that's awesome. We're happy about it. But someone's grandmother's dead, right? It's not justice if someone loses their grandmother, and on this side, oh, but the guy lost his Ferrari.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'd like to see them lose their freedom, and I think that's what the average South African thinks. So it is call good bad, call bad good, call failure transformation, call being a complete loser for 15 years a striving for inclusive, right? So it's just all these words, and it's like transformation. How about transformation from lying to integrity? How about transformation from stealing to success?
Yeah.
Transformation from shacks growing to jobs growing, but now you have this thing where you change the meaning of words, and it works, eh?
Yeah, it does. And while we talk about transformation, I failed to mention when you spoke about 100,000 that the transformation happened when Pace Car Rental came on board and helped us to grow and improve production and so on. So shout out to Pace Car Rental. Use them. They sponsor the show, keep us on air, and you'll get a discount when you rent a car using the code SONA. So that is important.
And I use Sona, and that's how I got this good looking. So use Pace Car Rental, you get
a
these
cheap
looks.
car and good looking.
Yeah.
But when we go back to you mentioned transformation, because that is a word that has been weaponized.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that people should look out for, and that is the weaponization of certain words. So what you do is we've seen it in many contexts over the years, where a good word, like, for example, my favorite one is that there's a wonderful word in the English language called collaboration, right? It's a great thing. It's what you strive for.
Yeah.
It's what we are doing right now is collaboration. But in the word was used in the Second World War to say that people had collaborated with the Nazis. And then for many years, you can't use the word collaboration because it's got this connotation.
Yeah.
In South Africa, the word transformation has been a catch-all to stop the argument immediately. You just say, are you for or against transformation? As if this is some kind of interrogation, and you need to say the right thing or else.
Yeah.
I think to me the greatest transformation by far is economic growth.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to transform the lives of the people that watch this more than having more money.
Yeah, absolutely. And with these words, it's if you have a word that would ordinarily be followed by a qualifier, and it stops having the qualifier, they're pulling wool over your eyes, right? Because if you keep saying transformation, then say, like, generally you tend to say from what to what.
Yes.
And when you use the word inclusive, you would tend to say including who, right? So and usually when you don't have the qualifier, you must know the qualifier is of the politician.
Okay.
So inclusive means inclusive of the politician. Transformation means transformation of the politician's life. And that's why they don't give the qualifier. And the trick is they find the uneducated out there to think transformation of their lives. No, It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Transformation is about politicians.
Yeah, transforming from millionaires to billionaires.
Yeah.
That's really what they are trying to sell you on.
Yeah.
But you and I share a common goal, and that is prosperity. We want this country to be prosperous. We want people to know what it's like to be independent of fear
Yeah.
and of government.
Yeah.
Right? Fear meaning that and fear comes in many forms. You want to be, there's the physical fear that the police should do their work and bad guys should go to jail if they're bad guys. There's the other fear of, am I going to get to my destination without my car falling into a pothole? Will the traffic light be working so that I don't waste more time and miss this important meeting? And then prosperity just gives you options, and it's the one thing that the ANC is terrified of. Isn't it?
They are, and they're terrified of it because prosperity is bad for them. Because if you sell, we will do this for you, and people have to find out that, oh, there is a way that I can build my own house, educate my own kids in the school I choose, take care of my own needs and get my own promotion and get my own successful business. If you get out of my way, then there's nothing for the ANC, right? Because ANC is about ownership. Hence, when they say our people, they don't really mean, like you would say our country. They literally mean our possession, like my bottle, our people. And so it's I think it's quite a job to get people over the fear that, do you actually know if the ANC stopped promising, if you stop believing their promises, you would actually get exactly what they promised? Because they came out in 1994 saying, we will build you houses. And nobody got to understand, like, that also means we will stop you from being able to build your own house. And people then miss that you're losing so much. So I would, for instance, never get involved in a BE deal of any kind, ever, right?
Is that because you're white?
Hey?
Is that because you're white?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, us white guys don't do it. No, I would never do it because I'd like to keep my success, thank you. And I'd like to keep my confidence, thank you. And everything you find on my CV, I get to carry that forward, that I learned certain things and got certain things done. And so I have not ever done any BE deal, no, haven't, because I would not, because so I will not be applying for Pakstau's whatever he
entrepreneurial fund,
whatever nonsense,
empowerment fund.
Yeah,
which brings us to the point of BE and Parks Tower. We were at an event together. Yeah, there he goes.
Shoot me.
Yeah, yeah. Possibly the two worst people to have at the event. Bonsai and I went to a BE conference where we were in a room full of BE entrepreneurs, tenderpreneurs, I suppose. They hate it when we call that, apparently. They should be called entrepreneurs, even though, anyway.
They haven't entrepreneured anything.
They haven't entrepreneured, they built nothing. But anyway, the point is that we were at this conference and there was some really interesting things that came out of that.
Yeah.
Now, this wasn't just a low level, like 10 guys in a room. No, we had the former President Madlanga making an address.
Yeah.
We got the current Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, Parks Tower, making an address. And a whole lot of the who's who of business in South Africa. And the thrust of the thing was, there's a lot of people that say BE isn't working. And kind of every speaker that got up sort of says, yes, it's not really working, but we should make it work.
Yeah. And the conclusion, if I have to summarize it, is these white people must just give us money.
Yeah.
That was the conclusion. said in many smart, clever ways, and all of that. And I think that's the most destructive. That was so horrible. It took me about 18 hours to detox from that. Actually, you'll see my video after that was
Yeah.
the shortest video I ever did, because I just felt so discouraged, because the thinking, and I know it gets, this is how it's done. They started from some kind of stats and some kind of weaponized history, and then it ends with let's guilt white people and then just give us money. And then they sort of say other things in between. Hey, like, no, it's about skills transfer, it's about this, so that you hide what you actually saying. And then it ends with, but white people must just give us money. Because sometimes you go and look for a bank loan and the bank doesn't give it to you. So whites must just give us money. And this is all you just ever heard. And it's really sad. And I think the worst thing about this transformation is it's a way to tell black people they're stupid without using the word stupid. It's a way to tell black people they are untalented without using the word untalented. It's a way to tell black people they are doomed to never succeed without saying the word can't succeed. I think BEE for me is worse than apartheid laws, because the apartheid laws were unjust, they were horrible, but they told you, I'm about to slap you. I'm about to call you subhuman. And you at least knew what you were dealing with. BE is so horrible because it's as bad as that, but you get to sit and listen to someone saying you are subhuman in many words. And it's so horrible because it's easy to swallow the poison, right? So when when you lived under the horrible, demonic, devilish system of apartheid, you at least knew this is wrong. And it's so bad that you live in a time where if I say BE is horrible, guys, you will have comments under me jumping me out for saying, listen, I know you're very talented. I know me. I know what I can do if I'm not blocked by the government. And I know what happened with Kwaito music, which happened before BE, where a whole new industry, a whole new genre, a whole new approach was built, which ended up being exported. Every single American star right now, their dancers dance like South African Kwaito dancers. So it literally, black kids, and I was one of them, without BEE, pre-BEE, were able to create a whole industry because of just coming into freedom. And ever since then, the more laws have been passed by these ultra smart politicians, that was the last thing that happened in the country that you can say, look what the black kids came up with. And if you also think of other industries that succeed right now in South Africa, you have MacG, you have all the influencers, why are they here? Because they got to operate outside of South African law. In fact, let me say clearly, America created MacG because he got on Google and all they wanted was give us your name, your address, and what you want to do. And then they said, that's fine, just click I agree. Channel started on his laptop. Now, if Google was in South Africa, we would not have MacG because he would have had to say, and what about this? And have you included a comrade? And have you done? We wouldn't have had it, right? So that's a second industry where you watch young people create a huge industry. In fact, the tax man is now realizing that a big chunk of our taxes from media are not showing up, and they said why, and they realized because influencers are receiving that income and they want to come after us. But when you have an industry created that the taxman starts getting interested in, look at this. It's the one that gets to operate outside of South African policy.
Mm.
And so and when you try say, listen, give people freedom to operate economically, because that's how we end up with MacGs in science, in technology, in everything else. We will not have a MacG in science tech unless they can go through easier policies from another country.
Yeah.
So there we go.
I always use the example of imagine if they, and we mustn't talk too loud, so please, if you're a government official, switch off now. But imagine if you had a ministry of fast food, right? If somebody established a ministry of fast food, then suddenly they would have to come out with rules, regulations, ways of doing this. Instead, we've got so many choices, food that is vetted by the ultimate thing being the consumer. In other words, you serve rubbish, we're not going to come to your fast food outlet. And you can now go to the middle of nowhere and find one of the well-known chains operating 24 hours a day with high quality, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But but then where you've got government involvement, you've got a government monopoly like Eskom not being able to supply you with electricity.
Yeah. And how wrong is it that it's actually so weird. How wrong is it that if I know someone who can create electricity for me, because they figured it out, and outside of just making sure that it's safe for society, that's fine. How wrong is it that I have to sit in the dark with a neighbor who could give me electricity? Like, who died and made someone king of South Africa?
Yeah.
And it's amazing how we take this so for granted. I mean, I listen to a lot of people talk about things like private sector participation, right? Like, no, we need to allow private sector participation. I don't get it. Allow private, and it's this thinking, right? Like, I don't have a right to just have a conversation with you now, and when you finish your water, say, I will give you mine for 5 rands. Someone must allow me that. That should be the given right. Yeah. In fact, we should be thinking, where do we allow government participation, not allowing private participation, because private is me and you. We should then say, no, we allow government participation. But we've just been so scripted on this. Like, why do I have to tell anybody if I want to swap my car for something, for your phone? I must be allowed to do that. Yeah.
One of the more interesting moments I've had on the show was one that got very little attention because that particular interview didn't do particularly well. Largely because I had the Minister of Communications, Solly Malatsi.
Yeah.
He's not going to win any. He's not going to host his own talk show. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But I said to him, "Isn't it time that you, as Minister of Communication, start arranging the exit plan for SABC? You've got this monstrous building in Auckland Park. Don't you think you should sell it while there's still some value there, because media has moved away from it?" And I thought he was going to have a heart attack. He clearly hadn't even thought about it, and he's a Democratic Alliance minister.
Yeah.
But we know where the media landscape is going.
Oh, yeah.
And it sure as hell isn't going into 25-story broadcast centers.
No.
Right? And here, I said to him, and he said, no, why? I said, well, because if you could get into a time machine and go back 30 years, you would sell off the post office because you know what's coming, because emails just come out or whatever the game changer is. In this case, SABC will be no longer. I can guarantee it. Some of its constituent parts we still get documents delivered, but it's not delivered by the post office, but we're still going to have media.
Yeah.
We're not going to have it done by SREK with your television license. So surely get out ahead of this and get rid of your great big building and it's not just one building, there's a building in every city.
Yeah. No, you got it. Yeah, I mean, it's funny when I look on social media, the average State of the Nation video on any topic has 5 times the viewership of the ANC or SABC. Same, it's different. SANCBC. It has 5 times the viewership of the same topic on SABC. And I think anyone with half a brain cell should be looking at that and thinking, something's happening here. And I think part of it as well is people have come to realize you can't trust these people.
Yeah. And they're not very good at running businesses. So you're going to have a natural situation where they're not, you and I have to be unbelievably alive to what people want to hear and the way they want to hear it, and things like production value, et cetera, et cetera. We've got to move really fast. Well, somebody else is going to take your space, right?
Yeah.
So we are forced to innovate. We are forced to do whatever it is. When you get paid by the state, you don't have to be forced to do anything, and it shows.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And for them to, even if I told them this now,
well, I did.
well, if they respond to it, then they have to commission a report, which takes about 2 years, and then they must have a committee to discuss the report, and then they must have 3 years to make a strategy, and after 3 years, the new government comes in, and then I guess we'll have to tell them again so they can commission a report. So we and all governments everywhere in the world are less efficient than business for this very reason, and that's why we shouldn't be trying to give government things that no government anywhere in the world can do.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that is so obvious, and once again, you just want to open up people's heads and plant the seed in there, and that is to say, politicians are totally reactive. They react to what you want.
Yeah.
It's not the other way around.
Yeah.
Right, so if you don't want to watch SABC, they can't force you to watch SABC. If we've all decided, as we have, that we don't want to pay a TV license, they don't have enough policemen, if they had nothing else to do, to get that money in. And so it goes with every other bad idea. If they decided that Eskom won't run efficiently, don't worry, we'll make our own plan. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your service. Please step aside. And we will make our own plan. And it astounds me that, it's a message, I think, that in South Africa, we still really have to work very hard. And I know we are, to trying to get people to understand that it's not the government's job to build you a house or to make your child go to school. It's their job to build a school and then to leave it so that you can run the school with the teachers and make sure that your child goes and is not disruptive to everybody around.
And the way that the ANC has always passed getting jobs for themselves, of course. They'll go back to, if you say anything like that, they'll quickly say, oh yeah, you're fighting for Afrikaans, like with the Bella Bill, right? And the biggest problem with the Bella Bill is it weakened anyone else's control over education and said the government is your daddy, the government's your mama, so they will take care of your kids and all of that. And I think that's the message that needs to get out there, that No, the government's supposed to just provide the foundation. But I think often then people are afraid because um, people feel, but then how will it happen? And it's one of those weird things because it's like that example of if you're trying to grab soap in the shower, the harder you try grab it, the further it slips away from you.
Mm.
And it's kind of a reverse thinking to say just relax and just pick it up,
Mm.
and it works. And I think many people are afraid of this. And I've heard you talk about this actually, that one of the cycles we got into in South Africa is that many people have never lived under economic growth,
Mm.
especially the young people. Now, I have few gray hairs here, so I at least managed to get into the business space in 1999 before most of ANC policy kicked in. So I actually got to enjoy what does it feel like getting involved in business. Your phone rings every second or third day with someone asking for work.
Mm.
Um, and as long as you deliver decent product, your company grows because someone tells someone who tells someone, and you have a new contract.
Mm.
And a young boy like me in his 20s can build a multi-million rand turnover company, um, starting with 300 rands to 5 million turnover in about 60 months. And not because I'm a whiz kid,
Mm.
but because just how it worked is if you knew someone and you had a conversation with them, an opportunity would come.
Mm.
And I think the average 30-year-old, 25-year-old right now doesn't know that this
This
kind of
exists,
world exists.
Yeah.
And they're told, unless we open doors for you, none of that money is going to come to
Yeah.
your pocket. And I've experienced it. Like, no,
Yeah, don't
no,
worry.
money comes in.
Money comes
Yeah,
in, and you run out of people to deliver.
indeed.
You don't run out of people that need whatever it is
Yeah.
your product you're selling. I've lived through this before in South Africa
Mm.
when we had our economy quite justifiably switched off under sanctions, which started kicking in the late 70s, and then started to slow things down. And then in the mid 80s, when we had P.W. Botha as that great economic whiz kid kill off the rest of the economy, we also went through a period of 10 years of no economic growth in this country. And the numbers are there if anybody wants to say things were wonderful. No, they weren't. There was a reason why everyone was negotiating in 1990.
Yeah.
The country was bankrupt in a different way. But anyway,
Yeah.
there was a solution. And the solution was apparent. And that solution was to open the economy up, to take away these policies that were killing the country.
Yeah.
And then when that came into force from around 1992, the economy went up and didn't stop for the next sort of 15, 16 years. And even somebody like me who had never experienced it as a young person, young adult, it's quite a quick thing to get to understand that the economy grows. And so even though it's a pity that it's more of a pity that people don't understand it, so they're not voting for it.
Yeah.
Then I'm not that concerned that we won't be able to handle it when it comes. Believe me, there'll be the bonsais and the mics that'll pitch up and say, you know what, we need places that do backdrops that don't fall down. Anyway, something fell off our wall here. But the point is that it'll happen by itself. I've got enormous faith. Clearly a lot more faith in those 200-300 people that we were sitting with the other day.
Yeah.
In the black child, as I like to refer to it, right?
Yeah.
I see really entrepreneurial people. I see people that want to make money, that understand the way the world should work. I see the older people trying to block them,
Mm.
and the ones that are in already. There's that old thing of whenever you've got something that works in your favor, you want to walk through the gate and then close it behind you.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that's I
yeah.
think what's happened with something like BE is
Yeah.
that those people that have
The
got it want to keep-
gatekeepers, I mean, we were there at the conference, and everybody there is a BE gatekeeper. The sponsor is a BE guy. And it is, they actually just fighting for their pockets now.
Yeah.
Because they're close to the politicians, right? And when they say BE must go on, it's got nothing to do with black people.
Yeah.
Except the black person that's fighting for BE.
Yeah.
Because they're close enough to the elites. And I think I'm happy though, because it is falling apart. It will just be drama and a big mess, but it is falling apart, and I can see the desperation.
Yeah. I actually
to
think
try and preserve.
I think the end of BE would look like the end of apartheid.
Yeah.
It never fell down. There was no big one moment. It did end with a whimper.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Soon enough, there was no way to classify the guy whose mother was half Chinese, half black, father half. We just ran out of pencils.
Yeah.
And the whole thing just became ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it all the laws were still on the books.
Yeah.
But nobody could apply them.
Oh yeah.
So I think we're heading to those waters now, where the laws are on the book. At the moment, they're looking at the workaround, like, for example, with Starlink.
The ICT, yeah.
Right? But the point is that it's falling apart. It won't come back again. Nobody's going to say, this was a really good idea, let's do it harder. They'll try.
Yeah.
Even in those death days of apartheid, you had people like the Conservative Party and Eugene Teblan say, no, we got to go back to 1950. No, it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
It sounded scary, but it wasn't going to happen. I want to circle back to where we started, where we were talking about the Madlanga Commission and all of these revelations, the parliamentary meeting and so on. And as it sits right now, in your opinion, what do you think the political fallout of this is going to be? We never really discussed it.
Woo! Wow.
So we'll end off on a nice, easy topic.
So, wow, Mike, I think we coming really close, because I don't know how high up. First of all, we don't know who is still to be implicated. We've only heard the first part, right? We've heard the Mkhwanazi side. We've heard at the Madlanga Commission, Mkhwanazi has gone through, Masemola has gone through, Kumalo is bringing facts and the evidence. So that's clear. And then we've had a repeat of that with Mkhwanazi and Masemola at the ad hoc committee. Okay, so the first explosion starts on Monday when Sibiya comes through.
Because he's on the other side.
He's on the other side. Now, this is what happens in these situations. In defense of self, everyone has got to use every shield possible. So Sibiya must defend himself. And already you had the chief of staff, Kunu's chief of staff, Nkabinde, come out to a news conference yesterday, which already kind of burns Nkunu, right? Because why is a chief of staff coming out for you? Not a spokesperson, but a chief of staff. Chief of staffs do not call press conferences. And so as they begin to defend themselves, they will inadvertently implicate others. And you still have Mkhunu and Ramaphosa, and Mkhunu can't defend himself without burning Ramaphosa. And it just keeps going on like this.
Because Mkhunu's option is to say, no, it was me.
Yeah.
In which case...
what are the chances?
Or he's got to say, I wasn't the only one that made this decision,
Yeah.
in which case that brings in the president.
Yeah. And the president, of course, must say, I know absolutely nothing about this, and bury Mkhunu. So it's about to the real fallout is coming from Monday when Sbia comes out, because whatever he says affects what everyone else on his side says, and what, and then you have already you seeing Brown Mkhotsi and Fikile Mbalula saying he's no ANC member, and then turning around and saying, I even have his SMS, but I don't know this guy, and him coming out and saying, hey Mbalula, don't turn your back on me, as if you know you don't have smallanyana skeletonanyana.
But he even
as well.
mentioned it. He even mentioned Balula's wife. He even mentioned some
yeah.
guy that got killed 10 years ago.
Oh yeah. So you can imagine with everyone coming through on the other side. So we don't know what the fallout will be, but we do know that, first of all, there's pressure on the president's office right now, because of the many hats that he wears. Because number one, he's ANC president, so he's got to manage that. It's a mess. Then he's president of the country, and still a mess. Then you have each of the people on the other side, they are all ANC. And so whatever they do then affects the whole ANC upcoming conference, because they've got to balance what slate they're on, and their testimony better not affect their slate. So it's a mess. I think for the ANC, it's a problem. I think the reason why the GNU partners are all quiet, it's because they're watching it and thinking, just let it roll.
Yeah.
Let it roll and let's see. But one of the reasons I was happy about this is because it gets to expose the ANC. Now, I know on a short term, what we want to see is real justice. We want to see people go to jail and all that. And unfortunately, we have to accept something less than that, which is, I've often said, Zondo Commission brought the ANC down to 40%, right? Because the MK party is a formation of backlash from the Zondo Commission, because when Zuma was now supposed to come to the Zondo Commission, he got to say, see, they're victimizing me. Enter the MK party. And ANC lost 15%. And so we're going to see more of this now, where Mkhunu's response may also have to split a 5% off the top of the ANC. So that's the least that we can celebrate, that okay, at least it weakens the ANC and speeds up their crashing.
Yeah.
But I think this commission and the ad hoc going at the same time, the only outcome out of that is that the ANC crashes and burns.
And the good news is that the one thing that will be left in its wake, seriously, is the private sector.
Yeah.
Because we are, there is no ways that this goes through without, as you say, crashing the ANC, but even crashing the provincial structure of the ANC, certainly in Gauteng.
Yeah.
And while everybody is so distracted, we spoke about BEE and those people in the room, they're not going to get more laws.
Yeah.
Because nobody's going to be worrying too much. I mean, right now, the DA's popcorn bill must be crazy as they're sitting by watching this unfold, and all the other opposition parties. But yeah, we are going to see a rearrangement of the politics in South Africa, and it's going to be absolutely fascinating, because in the middle of all of this, we're going to have a local government election.
Yeah.
That is going to be absolutely interesting. I've said, and here's my take, that the local government election will be a referendum of ideology versus delivery. You choose which one. You can't. There's no third option. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you choose ideology in which case enjoy the potholes, or you choose service delivery, in which case you're going to have to make a few choices that you weren't comfortable with 10 years ago.
Yeah. And the ideology weapon has become so weakened. I've seen it just across the board. You know, there was a time, because the ANC's just run with one thing. It's either racist or right? And I remember there was a time when to be called racist was the biggest scandal ever. And it's come to a point now where people are like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it's very encouraging to see that people are starting to say, no, wait, man, just tell us about reality. And definitely, and I think it's going to be interesting watching what happens in Joburg. Joburg has never been this highly contested. You have the deputy president of the PA going crazy over it. You have the chairperson, federal chairperson of the DA, announce so early. I mean, to bring Helen Zille out, clearly this is viewed as an A-team battle, right? And I don't know if Mashaba is going to go for
we had him here last
for Johannesburg. Yeah.
He said no in the way that it looked a lot like a yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, if you're gonna go against Helen Zille, you've got to field your best. So if he doesn't go for it, then okay. If he brings a B team player or a C team player, that would be silly. But I've never seen people fight for Joburg this much.
Yeah. And of course, there's no Mashaba Zille equivalent in the ANC. There's nobody that they could feel that people would say, oh, well, at least.
No.
You know, at least, I don't know.
Unless
David Makura is coming back or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
No, it can't happen. And